Welcome to this installment of the Straight Edge Game Room. Today we're going to be looking at, oh dear, Pac Man on Atari 2600. Let's get into it. The infamous Pac Man on Atari 2600. How does it make the jump from the arcade to the Atari 2600? Well, just look at it. The ghosts are incredibly flickery, but they're a little bit harder to see in this video, and that's partly due to the shortcoming of my video capturing devices. So we gotta cut this game just a little slack for that. As far as the maze, there isn't much variety. Actually, there is no variety. This is the only maze you get throughout the whole game. And I say the whole game loosely because, from what I gather, this is a prototype. From what I understand, the publisher of this game couldn't wait for the developers to fine-tune and perfect it, so they put it out on the market while it was still in its infantile stage. All things considered, is the 2600 version of Pac Man really that bad? I think this game's infamy tends to be embellished, but it could have been left in the oven to cook a little longer. You gotta move Pac Man with such pinpoint accuracy, otherwise you're gonna miss some of the turns you intended to make. This game feels slippery with both a standard 2600 joystick and a Sega Genesis controller. It looks and plays like an incomplete game, which is exactly what it is. Now, I have never played an Atari 2600 game that was a perfect port of its arcade counterpart, but this feels more like a Pac Man clone than it does like a Pac Man port. On the Atari 2600, you have arcade titles like Asteroids, Space Invaders, Mario Brothers, which of course are all downgrade ports, but they're all honorable ports nonetheless. But this particular entry strays a little too far away from its material source. But regardless, Pac Man on the Atari 2600 is dirt cheap and easy to find nowadays, so no harm done if you want to give it a try. But if you're looking for a good Pac Man game on the Atari 2600, step over this one and pick up a copy of Miss Pac Man instead. Well, that about does it for this episode of the Straight Edge Game Room. If you enjoyed this program, please like, subscribe. If you have any suggestions for any video games or video game accessories you'd like me to review, please drop it down in the comments below. Have a good night, and take care of yourselves.